I'm Paul Rees, your International Executive Business and Personal Career Coach. Join me on your series of the Business Health and Emotional Wealth The Easy Way radio show. Improving your high-performance thinking to high-performance success on UK Health Radio. My radio show will change how you think your productive future and manage the natural unlimited possibilities to your business and personal life success forever. This is no gimmick or another universal attracting exercise. I invite you to my listening coaching programs that will introduce to you a new power clean thinking process never realized or expected within your potential ever. I'm Paul Rees, and I invite your listening on the radio show Business Health and Emotional Wealth The Easy Way to your success on UK Health Radio.
Emotions are your value, and value is your business.
Okay, and here we are again, and great. Neil is with me, for the second week running. It's just amazing. So
I'm back.
can't get rid. Wouldn't want to get rid of you anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Bad about that.
You're one of the boys. It's fantastic. So hi to all our listeners globally, and welcome to another Accolade Academy Emotional Corporate Training's very own radio show with emotional health and business wealth. The easy way, understanding your power, thoughts into business success. Broadcasting through UK Health Radio, and yes, I'm hitting the red lines today because I'm using different software, but hey, we're out and about. Where are we today, Neil?
We are in the Zocket Zone in the fabulous Welsh Business Show in Cardiff City Stadium, right in the heart of Cardiff. And today is a day for businesses all across the region to get together and just share some ideas and thoughts, connections. And it's a really bustling day. You can hear stuff going on in the background. There's lots and lots of stands going on. There's seminars, there's networking lunches and breakfast, all sorts. So,
how amazing!
Amazing.
I'm hitting the red again, man. That's excitement. It truly is. I'm hitting the red. Yeah. The red is bouncing here on the volume. Sorry, listeners, if it's hurting your ears, but this is an exciting time for Wales. It truly is to have all these entrepreneurs and businesses in one room. Really exploiting our talent. And. You know what was great for me? When I started the morning, I bumped into this fantastic lady who she thought she's going to sort of block my vision, but they say good things come in small packages. Well, damn, I experienced that today. I truly did, because we have Joy. Coming into the mic.
Hi, Paul. Hello.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Now you're going to tell me all about yourself.
Right.
I didn't get to have that much time with you. So tell me about, because all I know is that you're a fantastic coach. That's all I know. So tell us about you.
Well, thank you so much. It's just such a privilege and an honor to be here. And I must say, actually, I first met you and I thought, oh my God, he looks really smart. A man in blue suit. Well.
Yeah,
that's a start. And I looked at we're both wearing blue. Oh my goodness. Awesome. So yes, my name is Joy Ogeh-Hutfield. And
tell me, I'll just say that last name again. It's so
Joy
interesting.
Ogeh-Hutfield.
Wow, that's interesting.
Well, it is actually, because Ogeh is my maiden name, and as an only child, so I thought I need to keep that going.
Yeah.
And my husband wasn't too pleased at first, but he's got used to the idea now.
Okay.
So that's fine. So Ogeh-Hutfield, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. And it has a Hollywood roll to it.
I love that.
Doesn't it really? It's like you pronounced on the way into the room. It has lift. It does.
Yes.
People remember good names. They truly do.
Absolutely.
So before we go, what I'd like to do is just tell me about you, your background, and tell me about your career, just in 3 minutes.
Well, in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, I came to the UK at the age of 16.
Oh wow!
From Nigeria, I had this dream of being an actress, and I just really wanted to kind of transform lives through the stage,
Yeah.
And so I came to United Kingdom, and I came in November. School started in September, so when I arrived, it was almost like I was told, go back and come back next year.
Oh really?
And so in the midst of that, really, I kind of realized that here was an opportunity that if I didn't speak out, it was one of the room's head of sixth form was there, my mom, my auntie was there, and they were deciding my future.
Yeah.
And I was being told, well, no, you can't start your A-levels, come back next year. And something in me just kind of stood out, really, and I said to her, I said, well, can I make a suggestion? You know, this bold 16-year-old, and can I make a suggestion? She looked at me from the corner of her eye. She said, okay, come forward. And I said, I know what you said, you know, I've got the right qualifications, but it's a bit too late in the year.
Yeah.
But can I start? And if I don't make the grade in 3 months, I'll come back next year.
Oh, wow.
And she looked at me, she said, okay, we'll give you a chance, start on Monday. and so, you know, that kind of started that whole sense of belief. But I tell you what really was transformational.
At Out There Life TV, we turn real life journeys into powerful, professionally produced documentaries. Whether you've led a quiet family life filled with wisdom, overcome adversity, exited the life of crime, built a business from scratch, or walked the road to recovery, your story deserves to be told. Your life story has an evergreen value. Through intimate interviews and cinematic storytelling, we honor your legacy with authenticity and heart. Because your life is a one-of-a-kind fingerprint with value that lasts forever. With our dedicated team, you will create your own 6-part documentary series that your loved ones will cherish for decades. Out There Live TV, your life, your story on film. Visit our website at outtherelifetv.com to start your journey today.
Was having somebody who believed in me, and that enabled me to really go forward, to believe in myself, and to know that I could accomplish. And so, being a coach, being a transformation coach, I do 3 things. So, first of all, I work with individuals, I work with businesses to enable them to harness the right mindset for success, because success has a mindset. And secondly, you know, I work with them to also build confidence, because confidence is the key that enables you to become that success. So it's helping people to build confidence, to have that and I can-do attitude that propels them to be able to accomplish their goals and their aspirations.
What you're doing there, Joy, is you're really rebuilding our self-worth.
Absolutely.
You know, into
Absolutely.
that. I mean, because we lose so much within our childhood of that ability to remember. Because, you know, when we were born with one ingredient. We were saturated with self-worth.
Indeed.
I mean, how does that deplete itself through life? And then, of course, you come in then and remind them of, you know, you have this natural organic ingredient in you.
Yes.
You truly do.
And it's so true, Paul, because a lot of the time we forget ourselves. You know, we're so busy in kind of wanting to help other people, and there's nothing wrong in helping other people, but we forget that really we should also have time to focus on ourselves.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know? And that is where I take, you know, the stance from, is that when you invest in you, when you look at you, take time for you, love yourself, understand your purpose, then you're able to give more to your community, more to the world, because you first understood yourself.
So, how far has your coaching taken you? Have you travelled with your coaching?
Oh yes, I have travelled. I've travelled all over the place, in Europe, in Africa, and it's been so amazing, really. And one of the things, really, I would just say to you that my first coaching book, which was Purpose Made Easy, and I've always thought that I kind of understood my purpose, because I thought, yes, I want to be, you know, I'm into people, I love people, I want to develop people. But it took a whole different stance for me, and this is where the emotional connection came into it. Because out of the blue in 2011, I was diagnosed with a rare form of skin cancer.
Oh, was you? Wow.
And there, of course, my world came crashing down. You know, I had all these things that I wanted to do, and there was almost like a death sentence pronounced. And during those times, it really helped to focus. What is it that I wanted to do?
Wow.
And I've got to tell you, this was really a defining moment for me, because fear crept in. It was, oh my God, I'm going to die, but I don't want to die. And I found myself having a conversation with God, and I said, well, God, I don't want to die. You know, I want more years. And I almost felt that, you know, he said to me, well, he said, well, actually, you know, you want more years, and if I were to give you more years, what would you do differently?
Oh, wow. I mean,
I
how
thought,
spiritual.
How interesting.
That's amazing.
I've had 42 years to live. What did I do with it?
That's amazing.
If I was to have more years, what would I do? And I tell you, Paul, I was silent. I thought, oh my God, And that made me to sit down and to take note. What did I want to do? What would I do differently in my life? And that was where I began to understand more of what my purpose and how I wanted to live the rest of my life.
That is just absolutely, what a wonderful story. Hey, but let's look, because what I have in front of me here, I have some, what we have is Joy's wonderful. We have 3 books here. And let me just say also, you look like you do on the tin. I mean, many people do not, you know.
Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
You do. You look like you do on the tin. How great is that?
It's awesome.
That is rare. Now, what is such a lovely lady, absolutely. So tell us about your books there. Tell us how they come about and how the listener would benefit from these.
Well, I'll tell you what, because I started with purpose, and purpose is such an interesting subject matter, but the thing about purpose is that without purpose, your life lacks meaning.
Okay.
And when I was going through that whole transition of discovering that I had cancer and going through that process, and I researched, there were lots of books on purpose, but it wasn't telling me how.
Okay.
How do I discover it? And so I went on and I began to write a series of coaching workbooks. So Purpose Made Easy is my first coaching workbook. So it's me coaching you through a book.
And where can they get that?
Well, it's on Amazon. It's $24.99.
Okay.
And so you can get that. So here it's 21 days to discover your purpose.
Wow.
And what it does is that we're so busy. People say we're rushing here and there, but it helps you to take that half an hour every day to sit down and to begin to discover and to understand your own.
I mean, let's understand this. 30 minutes a day, man.
30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day for 21 days.
I mean, that's only 30 times around the clock. How great is that?
I mean, one of the things on day 8, it says, what would you regret not doing? So these are questions, because questions always propels you to start looking at solutions in your life.
Look at this, it's such a bring to action book.
It is.
Which is what we don't see in that form. I mean, there are many coaches that can write the right but don't do the talk, you know. I mean, that is just wonderful. It truly is. I mean, and tell me about before we run out of time here, but tell me about your other books there.
Oh, fantastic. Well, the second one is Joy Made Easy. And so it's about having that inner joy.
Oh, yes.
Having inner joy. People say, what's the difference between joy and happiness? Well, the book tells you about that. Because, happiness is one of those things, it's determined of how, in others. So people make you happy, people make you sad. But when you have inner joy, it is something from within. It is something that you cultivate. So Joy Made Easy, once again, is a coaching workbook, and it's 21 days to discover your joy. It puts you in great states and enables you to have a life that is full of joy and full of fulfillment.
I mean, it's wonderful. It is. It's absolutely wonderful, Jay, because what it's doing is complementing. This program is about emotional worth.
Yes.
And this year, I mean, wow, is such a gift finding you today. Just spare 10 minutes of your crazy schedule here, because I saw your stand is full of all your and you got loads of talks going on, and everybody loves you. They truly do. Now let's let the listeners know, where can they find your website, your email.
Yes, website, www.joytransformationcoach.com.
Okay.
And so you can find me there. And also we got the new Coaching for Success workshops. And these workshops are absolutely powerful. They are hands-on workshops. They are coaching arenas where you can really be coached with the right mindset, with confidence to go and to deliver. And our next Coaching for Success workshop is on how to lead and manage with confidence.
And they can find this information.
You can find that on the website as well. So, and just to plug that in very quickly, our Women Empowerment Soiree, where women are empowered, red carpet, Prosecco, empowering each other, May the 12th at the Mercure Hotel. So for the ladies to come and...
Well, let's get onto the website there, listeners, and let's pick up on all this wonderful information and, share the wisdom of this lady. I mean, look at the insights.
Awesome. Thank you.
The insights today, man. Give us a hug before you go. Just amazing. No, you are.
So much.
Thanks for the opportunity, and have a great day. I'm sure everybody's going to benefit from your presence here today.
Thank you so much, Paul. And you are awesome.
We'll speak to you in a bit, I'm sure. Okay, listeners, well, we say goodbye to our lovely Jane, or Joy, I'm sure we're going to speak to her later there, and now we're going to move on there. And Neil, let me just give Neil a shout. Come in, Neil. So I'm just getting Neil back in, because he's hobbling around the background. He has maybe 20 businesses to look after. So he's just coming back in. Hang about, listeners. I'm just having a little photo here. How great is that? That's wonderful. Thank you. Coming in, Neil. Coming in.
Another one?
Yes, coming in. So, how many businesses are you today in the Zocket Zone? Thank you, Joy. That was lovely. Speak to you later. How many businesses are you in the Zocket Zone?
Well, we have about, at the moment, it's about 40 businesses.
Wow. And these are all Welsh businesses.
These are all Welsh businesses, and then actually in the whole exhibition area where the Zocket Zone is about, I think, through the door today, there's been about 500.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how great is that? I mean, how great that, I just want to come and bring some praise in again for this tall. And listeners, you won't see how tall this man is, but I mean, he's an actual aerial in himself, he can really, but he attracts in such wonderful influences, and what I love about your work is that everything here today is about everybody promoting their entrepreneurial themselves, their business. It's all about that. It's wonderful. So, do we have anybody else? We got another.
We have, yes, and we've got someone else. I'm going to go in. I can see someone in the distance. I'm going to go, if you hang fire, I'm going to go and grab her because I think she'll have some really interesting things to say.
Perfect.
Yeah,
let's go and get her. Wonderful. Oh, so who do we have here? An exhibitor.
Hello.
Wonderful. So we have lovely Nadine Honeybone, and we are like
The
just
Autism Directory.
Autism Directory. Oh my word! I know your face. I know we've met in the past. So tell us then, Nadine. Because let me just see your badge there again. Sorry, it's okay, and it's easy. So tell me, Nadine. Tell me about the Autism Directory.
The Autism Directory. Okay, well, we're a charity organisation.
Okay, coming in a little to the mic here.
Yeah, sorry. We're a charity organisation, and we support those living with autism to get the help that they need.
Oh, really?
So we have a UK-wide directory, and we signpost to all the support and resources that are out there. Like personal groups, help, support, health, education.
Oh, wonderful.
But also autism-friendly businesses as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so those living with autism want products and services just like any of us, really. But who they want to buy from are those that understand their needs more. So we provide autism awareness training to businesses so that they can get into that market, to the autism community market.
Wow, how great is that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, not only is it bringing an awareness, but it's also bringing an understanding, that autism is not a disability.
No, it's not.
It's something that we can embrace. Because, whether you are, even if you're with autism, we generally have this view that this person is unemployable then, or that there's no skill factor then.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's very naive.
It is. I mean, 15% of adults with autism are in employment, just 15%. It's not that they don't want to be in employment, but they just find the barriers to getting there are too challenging, the interview process, and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just finds it too difficult, They find it very difficult to be social interaction, social communication. It's very challenging, typically. So that's why they can't really get through to the point where they can actually prove to an employer how loyal they are, how dedicated and detailed they are. So we help and support. We work with adults with autism, provide one-to-one support for them on a monthly basis so that they can access employment and self-employment as well. So we provide support workers for them to do that.
That's incredible. So, and do you also then, so you're building confidence?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's the age of these youngsters that we talk about?
We tend to work with adults. I mean, we don't have an age limit on them, but the ones that we are working with tend to be in late 20s, 30s.
Okay. And so that the individuals you're working with is to push them or to give them the confidence to go back into work or to go into work. I mean, are they also looking to do their own business, to become entrepreneurs?
Yeah, those that we're working with, they have a skill, they have a passion, they have something they want to give back to society.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the usual thing where they just give them their benefits and they sit in a flat and they've got nothing to do all day. Okay, so they want to actually give back to society in some way, and they want to contribute just like all of us do.
Wow.
So it's enabling them to get their domestic life right. Enabling them to make sure that they know how to get their washing, do their washing, buy their food, cook their food, and all that sort of stuff. And then it goes on to helping them. Well, if they've got a skill, they can get into employment.
Yeah.
How do we support them to do that? But we're working with one guy, for instance, who's a horse whisperer. and so we've helped him to develop his own self-employment. Yeah,
A horse whisperer. How incredible is that?
He's got this amazing connection with horses, and we say, well, there's a product and a service there that you can provide to other horse owners. So we've helped him, we've built him up a bit, and he runs his own business now.
Really?
With our support into providing that service to other horse owners.
I mean, how fantastic is that? You know, that again, do we call it an illness, a disability? What do you call it? Is there a label for it that's comfortably used?
It could be a disability, it could be a condition, and it could be just a difference. Okay, and there is that debate in the autism community as to what is it. And my answer always is it depends what the individual feels. If they feel it's a disability, then it's a disability. If they feel it's just a difference, then it's just a difference.
I love the way that you're making the word autism organic friendly.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it really is creating that broadband friendly feel where it's connecting, it's reaching out and connecting from business to business almost to say, you know, this person is not disabled. Autism is okay. And truthfully, I often think that, you know, people that have to nurse, let's say, the condition autism, there's such an intelligence behind them. There truly is, and that isn't really allowed to blossom because of society's interpretation of what autism is.
Yeah, absolutely. We were all sort of brought up to know how to socialise with people, how to use our body language and our tone of voice, how to interact with people.
Yeah.
That's what they find so difficult. And that's the biggest barrier really for them to actually then integrate into society.
Yeah.
You get beyond that, you learn how to communicate with them when they're not perhaps giving you eye contact. Doesn't mean to say they're not interested, do you know what I mean? So when you learn to interact with them, then you open up a whole new world.
So tell me then, Nadine, what got you into this line of work?
My little boy was diagnosed.
Oh really? And just bring a little closer because you have such a soft, subtle voice, and we need the listeners to hear everything you have to say. I hit the red all the time, unfortunately, on the volume. So tell me.
My little boy was diagnosed when he was 2 years old with autism. He's now 12, so that was 10 years ago now. He has a learning disability and a sensory processing disorder as well. So when I was given that diagnosis, I was basically told it's a lifelong condition. Best of luck and see you in 6 months, you know, sort of thing. No actual practical help. Yeah. So I did some research, I went out there, met other parents, found that there was help and support, started building up a spreadsheet, and then eventually that got too big. So I thought, you know what, this needs to be an online directory to help other parents get that support as well.
Wow. So this is a full-time job for you now?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're based in Treforest. There's a team of 20 of us now. We're spread across the UK as well. So
I mean, for me, it is something that's close to my heart. I mean, you know, I'm dyslexic. I'm sure it's nowhere near as difficult as what it is for some people that you meet there. And you know, it was a challenge for me in school. It wasn't something that was recognised. I mean, I'm 48, so it wasn't something that was recognised in those days. But you know, the last 10 years have been a good 10 years, understanding and appreciating it more so than anything else. I wrote the book, and that was the greatest challenge for me, but I never want to change that. So you know, I can understand to a certain degree what that feels like.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and you know, a lot of those with autism will have dyslexia as well. You know, those that we support have got dyslexia, and absolutely, it's one of those things. I think as a society we're okay with physical disability now. We tend to know it and understand it and accept it, and I think we've got a way to go now to do some of the other disabilities out there, and I hope we get to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? It's been amazing. I have met you in the past, I'm sure, because I know your face there. But thank you for coming and spending the time to listeners. And you know, this whole subject, it is close to the heart, and I'm sure there'll be many listeners out there that will absolutely resonate with what you're talking about here, and more so than anything, be very grateful for you.
Lovely, thank you.
We truly are grateful for you. Well done, girl. Give us some skin.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you, love.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so here we are. So now I've been hunting about to get another guest because we're so busy here amongst the social, and I've got Karina White. Now, I met Karina some time ago on a business networking event. I mean, your product is unique, and it truly is. I've not met anybody that does the product that you do, or in the way that you do it. So your business is called Balanced Being. I mean, what a great name. Balanced being. So, tell the listeners, Karina, tell us about your business.
Okay then, so I am an award-winning holistic health coach. So it is my job to be able to guide people in order so that they can create their own health and well-being. So I'm not looking at just addressing the symptoms that people have going on.
Yeah.
I'm looking at getting in and sorting the root cause out so that actually we can start to reverse stuff that people have going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're talking about, improving your interior to improve your exterior.
Exactly.
So tell me, so what would you do to a typical client, if I was to come to you, what would be the kind of first thing you would look for?
Okay then, so first of all it would be all about communication, okay? So obviously I need to find out more about what you've got going on. So we'd have an initial consultation which would allow me to ask some basic questions, such as, what are your signs and your symptoms? And then from there then, depending on what answers you gave me as to where I would direct you from there.
Okay.
Once you start working with me, then I look at a myriad of different more in-depth questions. We look at things like functional testing as well, because I tend to find that a lot of people, they need to have that form of testing in order to direct where the healing should be addressed, okay?
Wow.
So we're looking at the functional testing, also look at the mental emotional side of things as well, because for a lot of people, they may be holding on to some negative emotions there, which can also be affecting their health. So Paul, did you know if somebody is holding on to anger, okay, that's going to have an effect on the liver.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So
And let's look at business in itself. How much of an emotional roller coaster business is every day anyway.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it truly is. So you will have those in business that have a high level of emotion, anger, frustration, and we are saying here that this could have a cause and effect, or will have a cause and effect internally if you don't learn to understand you better.
Yeah,
Wow.
ideally, yeah. So it's addressing those things. So, there are things that you can do with the liver. So you can either address your anger issues at a mental emotional level, but then you also be able to need to support the liver as well. So you're looking at things like detox, you're looking at supplementing the body with certain nutrients, but also as well making sure that the nutrients that you take in your body are of a good quality and are of a good health to yourself.
So Karina, this is all natural product that you work with. So you've made it. So tell me about how you got into your business and become this entrepreneur of balanced being.
Okay then, so the reason why, or so the journey that I have made in my life has brought me to do what I'm doing now today. My background is the health and fitness industry. I used to be a gym instructor, class instructor, personal trainer, did sports massage, so there was a myriad of stuff within the health field that I was doing. Unfortunately for me, I was following the guidelines that most people are taught out there with things like the food plate and the food pyramid and things like that. And for me, it was making me more and more ill. So it was one of those things where I thought to myself, okay, this is not working for me. I need to be able to change something in order to create my own health and well-being. And that is where I came in touch with my mentors that I have, that has brought me the knowledge that I have to this day. And believe you me, whenever you're working in this industry, you do not stop learning. It's always an ongoing process. There's always something new coming up. But that is what really excites me as well. It's being able to learn that knowledge, but then also be able to impart that knowledge to my clients and the people around me as well.
So with your business, do you feel that it's been a process where it's almost because remember you're changing people's thoughts or habits more so than anything else. So as an entrepreneur, do you find that you've had to work extra hard? Because again, this is a product it's an emotional product. It is because it has that inner growth. Do you find it's been an uphill climb, changing people's ways of thinking? Do you find that?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We're in the UK. We're actually in Wales, whereas all of health is for free.
Yeah.
Healthcare is for free. Although people wouldn't exactly call it healthcare. You know, you go to the NHS, you go tell the doctor what's wrong with you, they sign a prescription for something in order to deal with the symptoms rather than the root cause. But then when you go and get that prescription, you're not paying for that either. So to readdress that whole mindset around people having to pay for their healthcare, that's been the biggest uphill struggle for me.
Really?
Definitely. Whereas you do have forward-thinking people around, which thankfully is what's allowed me to carry on doing what I'm doing. And it's those people who I'm very grateful for, because literally it allows me to still do something which I am passionate about.
So as a you know, an entrepreneur, a successful business person, you know, those who are wanting to come into the industry of well-being, because that's, you know, where you fit, what kind of advice would you, because generally when someone comes in with this kind of business, it's due to a personal choice or something that's happened in life, and then they carry a passion of wanting to change. So what piece of advice would you give to someone that was coming into this massive industry of well-being?
Okay then, so the number one rule is walk your talk. There is absolutely no point in saying to somebody, oh yeah, you know, you must, for example, cut out gluten because, you know, you believe that that's something that is not that great for you, but then they see you at something like a networking event or whatever, and what you're doing is you're wolfing down sandwiches. It's like, okay, that really does not look good. People who have met me, they know I'm always carrying a glass bottle of water around. That's kind of a little bit like a trademark for me, but you know, it is one of those things, whereas I would not be without my water. It's an essential part of your health and well-being.
Where we are then, what we're saying is if this is something you want to thrive in, be true to your product.
Oh, definitely. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, you are your own walking billboard. If you don't look great, feel great, sound great, have the energy, etc., then who is going to come to you and say, oh yeah, I want a piece of that? It's like, absolutely. So it is literally, walk your talk is the biggest thing, and you know, just keep your knowledge updated.
So let's do this, Karina, before we finish, let's tell our listeners, where can they find your website?
Okay then, so my website is www.balancedbeing.org. Okay, so that is where my website is. People can, click onto that. There's links on that website there. There's free ebooks for you if you wanted to download those. If you wanted to have a complimentary consultation with me, then there's a link there that you can fill in to get one of those.
Well, listen, thank you ever so much for taking time out, Jack, because I know that you've got a lot going on here today, and there's a lot of people you want to talk to, because you're a busy girl, you know, and so you should be in the business you are.
Definitely.
Thank you very much, love, and I'm sure I'm going to bump into you again in a couple of weeks.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome, love. Thank you. Okay, hi, listeners. So that was Karina, and she's gone off, and now we've got someone else, someone just as special. So we have Avril Carter. Now, Avril, have we met before? I'm not sure. I mean, I know your face, but I'm unsure. Maybe at one of the networking events, you know, because there's a lot that goes on here. But it's great to have you. Thank you for spending a couple of minutes to come on our program here, and being an entrepreneur and a business person. Tell the listeners about your business first.
Well, first of all, Paul, we'll clear up where we met. We met at the Beer Keller when you did a fantastic talk at the
Thank you.
That's when we first met.
Okay.
My name's Avril Carter, as Paul says, and I have a business called Save Money With Us, which is utility warehouse-based business. I've been in the business for 10 years.
Okay.
I started off really, really part-time because I saw it as an opportunity to boost up my pension.
Oh, wow.
I did it because I really believed in the services. My previous career has been in fundraising for over 40 years.
Really?
And I've worked with some really big companies, Bernardo's, Slanmai, Cardiff Triangle, and latterly with Welsh Institute.
And what was your role there? What was your role?
Fundraising and business management.
Yes. Business management.
Yeah.
Oh, so you kind of experienced kind of so much then, you know,
absolutely.
Both from grassroots right up to the decision making then in your career.
Correct.
And so this business now is your business, in a sense of you make all the decisions.
I make all the decisions with a lot of help from my company.
Okay.
So Utility Warehouse has an amazing program for helping you to develop to get personal development, which is something I didn't have when I was fundraising.
Okay.
Because fundraising, you had to get on with the job at hand and get on with the fundraising.
So tell me about personal development for you. What does that mean?
Personal development for me means growing as a person, being able to relate properly with other people, and to put a positive spin on everything that I do.
Wow.
So,
and how important is, sorry Avril, how important is that for you in your business, do you feel? With working on the personal development, which is really working on your personal and social awareness of yourself and, understanding your emotions. How important do you feel that is for any business? Or, it doesn't have to be an ownership of a business. It can be within any part of a business. How important do you, especially as a leader role, which is what you have?
I think it's very crucially important because if you get to know, for example, the colours that Tom Alschreiter alludes to, which is yellow for emotional, cuddly people, blue for party animals, green for very analytic, and red for very team-driven, you begin to understand the people that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And it also helps you put a good perspective on yourself and whether you will or won't get on with the person that you're doing business with, because we can't get on with everybody.
Yeah,
but it
true.
does help us to get to know people a lot better and a lot quicker.
How genuine, I love that. At Out There Life TV, we turn real life journeys into powerful, professionally produced documentaries. Whether you've led a quiet family life filled with wisdom, overcome adversity, exited the life of crime, built a business from scratch, or walked the road to recovery, your story deserves to be told. Your life story has an evergreen value. Through intimate interviews and cinematic storytelling, we honor your legacy with authenticity and heart. Because your life is a one-of-a-kind fingerprint with value that lasts forever. With our dedicated team, you will create your own 6-part documentary series that your loved ones will cherish for decades. Out There Live TV, your life, your story on film. Visit our website at outtherelifetv.com to start your journey today. I love that you've worked on that part of yourself. And at this time, because let's remember you did a whole 40-year career and then decided to do another 10-year career on top of that, where you've had to really work on who you are within this career because of the people management then, or the people skills that you need. Would that be correct?
Absolutely. People skills are really important because, especially as a utility warehouse distributor, you're building up a team as well as having face-to-face with customers. And you're having face-to-face with customers who really probably don't want to change their utilities. But who are, if you talk to them in a right and proper way and you look at their needs and not your needs, then that's the whole main thing.
So do you have a team working behind yourself at Avril, or are you just yourself, or how does it work there for you?
I'm what's known as a senior team leader in the business, going towards group leader. I've got 70 distributors in my team. There are people in this area of South Wales who have got many, many more distributors working under them than me. But I think it's very important to have a personal value on all the distributors that are in my group and to help them with their needs.
So pointing to the listeners here, what advice would you give to the listeners as to, what helps make a good leader in business? Or, you're a natural leader, obviously. You have that ability in you. And listeners, she doesn't take a compliment because you just threw that right back at me. So you are a natural leader. What does make for a good leader, do you feel?
I think knowing what the other person wants, not just what I want, and building on with Utility Warehouse, with the products that we have, with the fantastic compensation plan that we have, it's got to be building on that with the person that you're working with. They may not want all the holidays that Utility Warehouse may give us. They may want the car, they may want just the money, and it's about finding out about them them,
Yeah.
but also finding out what their personal needs are in the way of their own development. Because some of them that start up have never done face-to-face customer gathering before and can be quite scared. So others will just fly at it. It's about pitching it right and giving people as much help as they need,
Wow, that's
or as
wonderful.
little help as they need.
That is fantastic, and I'm sure the listeners out there are going to get a lot of uplift from what you've said here today. I'm sure that it'll help. I mean, I like it. I like because there's such a broadness to you. I mean, like say, you go from charity, the work. I mean, the business you're in is a tight business now. You know, there's a lot of people doing this kind of trading. So you have to be, emotionally clean, let's say, in there. Because as you say, when you're asking people to change utilities, for some reason, we get embedded with the same electric and gas companies. We don't know why, but we get embedded and we're afraid to change them, like a doctor and a dentist. It truly is there. So it is. It's hard work, but well done to you. And I'm sure the listeners are going to get something fantastic out of the advice you've given there. Thank you ever so much for your time, girl. It's much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. That was lovely Avril Carter there, ladies and gents. And she spared time out of her busy day. Thank you. It was much appreciated.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you. Okay, so let me just... Okay, and there we are. So that was the lovely Avril, and off she goes to carry on with the day. And Neil is back. Hey, I was lost, man. Look, I'm still in the red. You know what it's like. It's great to have you back. And who have you brought with you?
Well, we've been really lucky today is that we've had someone from out of town who's come along and shared his wisdom with us on networking, business networking specifically.
Oh, wow.
Which is the wonderful Stefan Thomas.
Stefan Thomas, let's do this, man. Whoa. Thank you for sparing time.
I don't usually get that sort of applause. I only came to see Neil. That's the only. No, I come to the Welsh Business Show in Cardiff every year.
Yeah.
I've done every single Welsh Business Show in Cardiff since Emma launched.
How important is this show for Wales and for the entrepreneur of Wales?
It's hugely important because what Emma's done is provided this huge platform for any self-employed business owner, entrepreneur in South Wales or wherever they want to come from. I've come from Oxford to come here and meet other business owners.
Yeah.
So there's all these people who are selling business-to-business services who can come here and meet their potential future prospects. Wow. On top of that, I was speaking earlier on. I did a 45-minute seminar, but even better than that, Jamie Denyer was speaking, Joy was speaking, and Charmaine was speaking.
Yeah.
All these brilliant speakers. Networking event by For Networking at breakfast, networking event by Zocket this lunchtime, networking event by BizNet going on right now. All of these opportunities to meet other local business people, that's hugely important.
Isn't that wonderful that we are, I mean, I've been tucked away in the States for the last 10 years with the coaching, and what I see here is, which you don't see in America, even though it seems so huge in America, they don't have what we have here, which is the fact that we work with each other in the way we do, the way that Zocket is just supporting these people that come through there. And I listened to your talk this morning, and it was so uplifting because it's so genuine also. When you give words, you're giving what you feel rather than what people want to hear. And there's such a difference. There's such a difference in that. People then resonate with what you're saying, and then you take that home, and that creates growth in your business. It truly does there, Stefan.
You're so right, because there are so many small businesses and business owners in South Wales right now who've decided to stay at home today, and they're sat there waiting for the phone to ring, and they're getting fed up with their business, and they're wondering whether they've done the right thing, and they could have come here and met a load of business people and seen some really positive, inspiring seminars from people like Jamie Denyer, and come and met loads of other business people. And the other thing, as well as just meeting the people, you get to find out that actually there's all of this support for business.
What do you feel, guys, and we'll start with yourself then, Neil, if you can. What do you feel sort of prevents that person from coming? Because, it is, in many ways, it's quite a courageous move to come in and be prepared to put yourself in front of the firing line in many ways. Although it's not a firing line, just a phase there. But what do you feel stops that person from coming?
Well, it's interesting because what Stefan was saying was about people that are staying at home and they're waiting for the phone call. But actually, if you come here to business events like this, a Welsh business show, you're showing up. And I think it's this idea of showing up. And what I mean by showing up is not just attending, because that's a different thing. Attending is one thing. Showing up is about actually showing up as yourself, as you truly are, and being you. And I think that is sometimes what stops people from coming. Is maybe there's a slight fear sometimes about who they're supposed to be, what mask do they need to wear. And my message to them is, you don't need to wear a mask. If people actually see through masks, and actually if you come along, just be you, enjoy yourself, you'll find a really friendly, warm welcome, especially here in Wales. And there's nothing to worry about. It's just getting in that car or on the train, on the bus, get yourself down to these events, and that's where the magic happens.
Do you think there, Stefan, that what's happening with these young entrepreneurs coming through is they're putting too much pressure on themselves, too much expectation? We come to an event like this, it doesn't have to be about the sale, which is people. It's about, as you say, just bringing your energy into the room and creating that almost white noise of attendance, where people then remember that person, that card, that business. That doesn't mean it has to be a sale then. It creates a greater awareness. It spreads out, like as you say, what's that great saying you said to me earlier in the week was broadband connecting. Almost, but without thoughts. What do you feel?
I set the bar really low at these events. I don't ever go to it. I've done over 1,000 networking events. I don't ever go expecting to make a sale. All I want to do is start conversations, which is what I talked about when we opened this show this morning. A show like this is all about starting those conversations. That's all I expect to get out of today. So I've got a couple of business cards which I've collected from other people. It's now my job to keep those conversations going, having started the conversation here this morning. So I set the bar really low. No pressure on myself to make a sale here today, because no one came here to buy from me today. No one got up in the morning and said, I'm going to go there because I want to buy some stuff from Stefan Thomas. That wasn't why they came.
And do you feel, again, by removing that pressure from yourself and coming in, as you say, even for some though, how did you, just let me get this question right, because I want it to be right for our listeners. Where did you get your confidence from? Because surely from the beginning, when you come to these events and you have to open your mouth to a stranger, and you have to talk about yourself to a stranger, what piece of advice would you give to the entrepreneurs now coming through from school to college and making their way into business? Say, okay, when you come to an event, this is the best way, the easiest way for you to introduce.
This is more Neil's area than mine. What I find is that sometimes people expect that they want to wait for the confidence before they go out there. Most of the time, I'm still nervous arriving at events like this, and you have to push through that. And this is you're the guy who talks about positivity in business. So this is much more your area than mine, Neil.
Well, I think, in terms of, people get hung up on the sort of the hows very much. What specifically do I need to say? Should I say my name in this way, that way? And, sometimes it can be useful to rehearse. So, it can be useful to be sat at the mirror or to be at home and just sort of verbally say, practice a few little things about your business, and that's absolutely fine. But I think it's about really just giving yourself permission to relax and just enjoy the situation. And one little tip I would give you is that if you're a little bit nervous about speaking and opening your mouth and what will come out, and I am still to this very day too, just ask a question or listen to the other person, because actually it's listening that actually helps make that connection with someone. You've got two ears and one mouth, and so you don't need to say very much to actually be memorable.
Wow. I mean, before we go on, because you have this wonderful book that we should talk about in a second there, but do you feel that business is for everybody? Do you feel that, I have an opinion that every business can be successful as we wish it to be, because a business model does not know how to lose money unless we actually coach it to lose money. Because it's not designed that way. I mean, a business model, when you sign up with Companies House, your business model is we make money from an excellence of service. It only knows that until we teach it to lose money from our loyalties to our disappointments, which we inherit from mum and dad. And the list goes on and on and on there. So, do you feel that business is for everybody? To you first, please, Stefan.
In my opinion, no, it's not.
Okay.
And that's perfectly all right. I've had to take such scary risks since I went into business, trying new things, but trying new things without the benefit of a salary coming in.
Okay.
Because when I was in corporate life, I could try something new, and if it didn't work, I might get a telling off, but I still got paid at the end of the month.
Okay.
I think that some people are simply more comfortable in corporate employed life, and that's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. I think there's probably a bit too much advice that everyone should be self-employed, and certainly by the end of this decade there'll be more self-employed in the UK, and the whole world is changing, but not everyone is cut out for it. And I think that's all right. I think there's some people who probably need to stop pretending to themselves.
Okay.
It's a really honest one. I've had those moments, those sleepless nights, and sometimes that's not for absolutely everyone.
And what do you think, Neil?
Well, I think I agree with Stefan. I think it's finding out really what's important to you, and to sort of dig deep and peel the layers and think, okay, well, actually, what do I want from my life? How do I want to spend it? What can I give up? Because when you're starting a business and running a business, it's almost a question of what you're willing to give up as much as what you want.
Okay.
Because there's lots of things you might have to give up in terms of making a successful business, especially in the early years, depending on how much seed funding you have, or how much of a buffer you have, or how many savings you have. But regardless of that, starting a business is a challenging thing. It's an exciting thing. It's a wonderful thing. But be honest with yourself and ask yourself: are you up for that? Do you want that? Do you know what it means? And are you living in line with your values and your purpose? Whether you're an employee or whether you're self-employed, because we need both.
So coming back to yourself there, Stefan, what was the breakthrough for you then in going from the struggle to? And I'm going to say that the struggle is something that. And let's take away the word struggle and just replace it with growth. Because that's truly what it is. So going from the intense growth to the easier growth, what was the breakthrough for you then in where it became? I had a kind of momentum behind it, your business.
Yeah, I also think, which almost contradicts what I said just now, that a load of people in business give up. This growth curve is often exponential. I promise to get the word exponential in today. So at first it feels like a struggle, and I do watch a load of people give up when that big success is just round the corner. Plus, and you guys will notice, you're cleverer than me about these things.
Oh, we're not.
People don't measure those little successes along the way.
They're
looking for the really big one.
Wow.
Okay, so that was the breakthrough for me. That was the breakthrough, thinking, I didn't make a sale this morning. I used to treat that as a failure, but I picked up something really good. I've had something really good happen today at the Welsh Business Show. It's measuring those little successes, and then you actually see your success starting to grow.
I think what happens with the entrepreneurs, especially in business people, is that we ignore the micro synchronicities that bring your business to confidence, and we are completely reliant on the motivational and self-worth, or the synthetic self-worth rewards that we feel come in materialistically from the business, and our confidence becomes too reliant on the panic to money married ratio within your business, rather than remembering, wait guys, it's these micro synchronicities that actually create my business, not this not what comes. I mean, the money's just a return of energy.
But I also think there's too much, and I'm a massive fan of people like Gary Vaynerchuk. I love his work. Too much emphasis, I think, put on the hustle, put on everyone having to work 18 hours a day. And that's not why I went into business for myself. I quite enjoy my Friday afternoons off, and that's not something which I'm meant to talk about. It's meant to be that I'm out there working all the time, but with all of the other ups and downs of working for myself, I've decided I might as well enjoy the fact that I do get to choose who I work with, what hours I work, and for far too long I wasn't taking advantage of that. And micro-synchronicity is the best word I've heard today, by the way.
We have loads of those. And
to me, that's the most important things. Not the money return, but what creating a business and running a business allows you to do. This idea of choosing who you work with, and that's a fantastic.
At Out There Life TV, we turn real life journeys into powerful, professionally produced documentaries. Whether you've led a quiet family life filled with wisdom, overcome adversity, exited the life of crime, built a business from scratch, or walked the road to recovery, your story deserves to be told. Your life story has an evergreen value. Through intimate interviews and cinematic storytelling, we honor your legacy with authenticity and heart. Because your life is a one-of-a-kind fingerprint with value that lasts forever. With our dedicated team, you will create your own 6-part documentary series that your loved ones will cherish for decades. Out There Live TV, your life, your story on film. Visit our website at outtherelifetv.com to start your journey today.
I mean, I feel my time of my, the life, or my lifespan, if you like, or the hours of my day have expanded because I run my own business. So days feel like weeks in a good way because I'm actually just doing what I love doing. I'm choosing how to show up and choosing how I want to develop my gifts and also share those and also rejoice in other people's gifts as well. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that sometimes we forget about that and we do get caught up on the money. And I think the money is great. We do need money in this world. But the money, and the money will come. There is that tipping point that Stefan mentioned. This idea, you keep adding to the scales, and suddenly, it carries on, and then suddenly, the scales tip, and a new balance is found. And so just sort of be aware that could be happening right now. You could be just there at the tipping point. Maybe you've had some tipping points already and you're ready for the next one, or maybe just happy as you are right now.
I mean, maybe we, with the listeners, what it's not focusing on the money. It's just understanding you're deserving of this success, and the money is just to say a return of energy. It's been wonderful to have this 10 minutes of think tank.
I loved it.
I mean, we've really kind of throw this wisdom, because that's what business is wisdom and maintaining your wisdom. But before we go anywhere, Stefan, come on, tell us about this book of yours.
I'm the author of 2 books. I'm the author of Business Networking for Dummies and my second book, Instant Networking, and I met the publisher of the Dummies series of books at a networking event.
Oh wow! Brilliant.
After 7 years of networking, I bumped into these.
Big synchronicity.
Big synchronicity. I ended up sat next to her at a networking event. So that's me. I'm the author of Business Networking for Dummies, and I've spoken at every Welsh business show except for one when I broke my foot.
So where can listeners get your book?
They can buy it at Amazon, they can buy it at WH Smith, they can buy it, what does the advert say, at any good bookstore.
Oh wow.
Because the ones who don't stock my book
I
are
love the story about, I think it's all about back in the sort of prehistoric times.
Oh, well done, thank you.
I love that story.
Because networking isn't a new thing, we've been doing it since humans existed.
Absolutely. And website? Do you have a website?
I do, which is stephanthomas.biz.
Okay, but let's have the Zocket Blast also.
Zocket.co.uk.
And accolade.academy.co.uk, guys, listeners, it's been fantastic. It's lovely to finish off with 2 of the greatest people here today. It's been amazing, Round of applause, guys. Give yourself a clap. It's been fantastic. Yeah, absolutely.
Can they hear a group hug on the radio?
Oh, well,
they can feel it.
It sounds fantastic. Thank you, guys. Thank you, listeners. Okay, let me just... Okay, listeners, well, that is it for me for today, and thank you ever so much for listening, and sorry about the background noise and everything that's going on. You're such a busy conference here today, but it's been great to share with you all these people that have been here and all these guests, and it's been wonderful. So you have a wonderful couple of days until we speak to you again, and don't forget, our website is accoladeacademy.co.uk, and you can email us from there, and it'd be great to be in touch. Okay, speak to you soon. Thank you.
Emotions are your value, and value is your business.
you.